With many issues today throughout the world, like global warming or something similar to that, there's always a rebuttal argument to the prior argument that global warming is true. This is just part of our society where there's always rebuttals against one argument. The same can be said for the NFL and its drug policy. If we have a strict drug policy, there's always going to be those counter arguments that could try to sway people from wanting a stricter drug policy. The three claims we're going to talk about today is going to be: it could cost the NFL more money to fund for more drug testing. 2, concussions have always been a problem, so therefore why would we want to focus more on drugs? 3, it makes the game more fun to watch because these PEDs give the players more strength and speed, which makes more harder hits and more explosive plays to make the game more fun to watch. The first claim we're going to talk about is it could cost the NFL more money to fund for more drug testing. The NFL issues about 350 drug tests per week to 10 players per team per week. There's also an annual drug test when all the players report for training camp to start prior to the season, and this is about 14,000 drug tests total. This is according to Lori Nickel on JSO Online. Also, the NFL spends about $13 million per year on drug programs, and this is according to Jacob Feldman on Sports Illustrated. When a player is suspended for drugs, he loses about 4/17 of his salary for violating a drug policy, like PEDs. So, for example, if he had a $1.7 million contract, he would lose $400,000 just from that 4-game suspension. The same can be said so on and so on. As your salary increases, so does your money that you're going to lose because you chose to do PEDs, according to Joel Larry of CBS Sports. Another claim is concussions have always been a problem. From 2005 to 2010, there were only 62 suspensions for PED use. However, in 2011 through 2016, there was 210 suspensions for PED use throughout the NFL. This resulted in concussions rising 58% in 2015 season alone, which actually totaled to be 184 concussions throughout the league in just 16 games of the regular season. This doesn't include the playoff games that were also included, according to USA Today. Through the use of these drugs, it creates harder hits, and it results in more blows to the head and more injuries for players, and this costs the NFL money because they're losing some of their star players for seasons or for weeks because they're injured due to the harder hits they're obtaining. Another claim is it makes the game more fun to watch because the players are stronger and faster, and it also results in harder hits and more explosive plays. According to Michael Rosenberg, while it might seem better with harder hits and explosive plays, for example, being able to run faster or have more strength, would we even be impressed anymore? This is similar for like baseball during the steroid era when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were hitting over 68 home runs a season. During the time it was very impressive, but once we found out they were using steroids, we weren't that impressed anymore. Also, this kind of makes the game it makes it not as fun to watch, honestly, because you're kind of expecting a harder hit or a more explosive play because you know more players are doing PEDs and performance-enhancing drugs, which in turn gives the players more strength and speed. In conclusion, these three claims have been debunked throughout this. For example, it costing the NFL more money to fund for drug testing. The players are already losing money for their failed drug tests, and nobody knows where this money is going. Concussions have always been a problem. They have always been a problem, but they didn't become a major problem until the PED use increased throughout the league. For example, rising to 184 concussions in one season. And making the game more fun to watch, it did make the game of baseball more fun to watch at the time, but eventually we realized that they were just doing steroids and it wasn't even that impressive to anyone anymore. This in turn would not make the NFL more fun because while they might have harder hits and explosive plays, but that's going to be more expected than anything.